the Chief Global Programs Officer from Pact. Dorothy, please welcome her over here.
Thank you very much, and I really want to thank our distinguished panels for sharing their candid perspectives today. And as I was watching the tweets go across the screen, your perspectives are being captured, and I really appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who's here today, our colleagues and our partners and our friends. We are really grateful for you turning out today and being part of these really important discussions. I visit Ukraine every couple of years, about every year, and I can also see the rapidly changes that are happening here. I'm not as familiar with this region, but I'm learning quickly, and I'm learning about the history, so this morning has been very valuable for me. What I understand, and I know someone said this, Ukraine in the last 3 years has brought about more change than in the last 20 years previous to that. And there's been important achievements in the energy, financial sectors, I understand, creation of new anti-corruption institutions, improvements in macroeconomic conditions. In the coming years, the strength and durability of the recovery will depend on the pace and the scope of the reforms that are being undertaken. Constant movement ahead is something that excites me and challenges me, and it's what distinguishes states that are modernizing. But when you're moving ahead, it's important to have a destination as well, and I think that's what this conversation has been about today in some ways. From my conversations with experts here and from my own observations, I understand that the vision is for a more modernized European Ukraine with strong institutions and on a clear path towards integration with the Euro-Atlantic community. I was pleased to see the poll that the IWP presented a little while ago, and that about 40% are convinced, of Ukrainians are convinced, that the European integration of Ukraine is an irreversible process. So that's really encouraging. We'd like it to be higher, but it's an encouraging piece of information to know. Ukrainians' association with the European Union, it included, I was struck by this, it included not only better quality of life, but also the culture and the civilization and culture values that are there as well. So that really was also encouraging to see that. We at Pact are privileged to support and be part of these discussions and the process. And as an international organization, we work to create meaningful, lasting change in communities around the globe, not just in Ukraine. And thus, we also can help to facilitate the modernization of society. The name of this conference is interesting. Okay, so it's Europe, Ukraine, EU, partnership in a changing world. And as we all know and was said earlier, the world is changing so quickly. And that can be threatening, but it can be also very exciting. And the impact of these changes in Ukraine is really crucial. But it's also fair to say about Ukraine's influence, and I think someone said something like this earlier, your determination for democratic development and commitment to reform has potential for a transformational impact on your neighbors and even on the rest of the world, okay? And I really believe that as I've been listening to that this morning. And like Pact, or like Ukraine, Pact is going through some transformation as well, and we're trying to figure out how we can do things differently, and that means change for us. Because poverty and marginalization do not have a single cause or a single solution, our integrated approach to how we do development work recognizes the complexity of people's lives and combines solutions to holistically address issues. So here in Ukraine, we're working here. We have a couple projects that we have in partnership with USAID. Is that me? and we aim for transparent governance. Is this going off maybe? Can you still hear me? Is there another one? Yeah.
Sorry. This one works for sure.
Works. Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry. Okay, so here in Ukraine, as I said, we have two different projects that we are working in partnership with USAID, and we aim for transparent governance, improved livelihoods, and developing markets, all within the context of the nation's determination to resist your neighbor's aggression. The change that Ukraine is undergoing is a tremendous task, which will require the maximum effort And Ukrainian civil society is on the front line of this process. For me, it's been very inspirational to hear about that and to realize how influential civil society in Ukraine has been in influencing the most urgent reforms over the last few years. And now as you start to adopt European values and behaviors, there's also the opportunity for civil society to influence foreign and even domestic policies representing and echoing the dominant aspiration of society towards European standards. The more international connections, expert exchanges, and conferences like this, the more smoothly, maybe, that the Ukraine's transformation will be. And I want to pause right now to thank the people who were involved in organizing this conference, because it was a massive undertaking to do it. But I think this is a really good opportunity to start to have those kinds of discussions. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you for everyone here, panel members, the audience, the moderator, for your efforts, for your commitment, for your thought leadership. We at Pact are standing along these sorts of endeavors that build on a common vision of citizens and their governments. So it's been a privilege for me to be here today, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dorothy.